What's up everyone, my name is Michael and welcome back to Boxmining. Today I want to talk about a topic that's very important to me, which is survivor bias. So what is survivor bias? So survivor bias is something like when a friend comes to you and tells you all the success stories of cryptocurrencies that they had. You know, maybe they made 100x on Ethereum, they got there early, maybe they were in Dash early or Bitcoin early and they made huge gains and they're telling you these success stories. That's an example of survivor bias, because what happens with cryptocurrencies is that there's a lot of coins out there, for like maybe thousands of coins. There's lots of forks, lots of new coins being created and announced every single day, and even ICOs as well. There's so many different ICOs, and there are people who really succeeded on ICOs on different coins, and because they succeeded, they like to talk about it. It's naturally and it's very human to talk about how they were successful. It's not like they want to brag or anything. It's just that they were successful. They want to share that, and I've encountered this myself as well. I was at the Dash conference. I was talking to CoinGun, and he naturally had a lot of Dash, and as a result, he liked to talk about his successes. I've also asked him, did he invest in other coins? He did, but naturally, because the other coins weren't successful, he either forgot about it or deleted that from his memory. So this is something that's quite important to remember, because when you talk to a lot of people who are still in the space, when you meet people who are in the space, they are the ones who survived. And there are ones who lost, and the ones who are lost, they don't say anything, right? They naturally don't really want to talk about their failures in cryptocurrencies, and they won't really want to bring that up when they're at a table talking. And this is something that's quite important, because if you only see and hear the good stuff, then you're thinking that everything is going to 5x, 10x down the road. You know, I talk to people and they're like, yeah, we don't want to put money into Bitcoin. We want to put money into something that's like going to 10x, 100x, a million x, whatever that coin is, that's this gem that's undiscovered. Well, the thing with discovering gems is that it's really hard. You're going to go for a lot of rocks before you discover that gem. And this is something that I personally experienced as well. Even when looking at different coins, there are coins that I liked that didn't succeed. And that's one thing to really remember, that there is a lot of room for failure in this space. Not everything, especially if you hear from a friend, they 10x everything and they tell you, hey, go do cryptocurrencies, it's the best thing right now. And I hear that a lot of comments coming on my channel where they're just looking for the next best coin. But the problem is you're going to go for a lot of trial and error. A lot of times with coins, they might look good on paper and they might not be that good. And also, even if they are good on paper, there are a lot of competitors out there. Can they outcompete that competition? I want to give an example where Ethereum was very successful, right? But the problem is that Ethereum is like 10 times better than everything else out there at the time. Before, Bitcoin script language itself is very limited in what you can do. The programming on Bitcoin script is limited. But with Ethereum, it's it's Turing complete. It can do anything you want with it. And as a result, it was 10 times better. But now I've seen projects that are like, oh yeah, we're a fork of Ethereum, we're Turing complete, we have faster transactions, and we're trying to solve all the problems that Ethereum's trying to, we're observing Ethereum, and we're going to try to solve their problems. But the problem is Ethereum is also observing Ethereum. They're also trying to solve the problems of Ethereum network. Now, it's going to be a competition of who can solve these problems and who has the technical resources to solve them. The thing is, of course, with Ethereum Foundation, they're very well funded. It's a $40 billion market cap coin. They can move very quickly and they can solve these problems. Whilst for other coins that try to look at these problems and try to solve them, they might propose solutions, but they might not have the development team or the experience to solve that. So you really got to keep that in mind when we're looking at new coins and we're trying to discover the next Ethereum. Is it really 10 times better? Is it that jump between Bitcoin and Ethereum, or is it just another Ethereum alternative? Alternative is good, don't get me wrong, and they can grow in this space because this space is expanding very quickly. But we can all fall to survivor bias. We can always think, oh yeah, let's look for the next Ethereum. That's the obvious thing to look for, but finding that the next Ethereum is going to be very hard. I also want to give an example of one thing that came from my own experience as well, which is in the gaming space. When I first started and went to conferences in gaming, we saw kind of the guys from Temple Run. This is just a husband and wife developer. They were thinking of a next game, and they made Temple Run. And that game got them millions and millions of dollars. It was top #1 on the free iOS list, top #1 on Google. And they made Temple Run 2, Temple Run 3, and they made various versions of that. The thing is, of course, they have survivor bias because they're those projects that succeeded. There's a lot of other husband and wife teams that make games that weren't successful, and you don't hear about them. They don't get invited to conferences, they don't give speeches, they don't give talks, they don't talk about how they failed. And if you just think, yeah, okay, I can just band with my wife and we're going to make a game and we're going to succeed, then you might be in a situation where you just get 2 or 3 downloads on your app or your game, and it won't get anywhere because, that's how hard it is. The number of people competing in that space was insane. And I think this is the same with cryptocurrencies as well. Just look at, we always focus and look at maybe, at least for me, I look at the top 50, top 10, but those are the ones that survive. What about the top, 10,000? What's down there, and what are they offering? Are they offering similar things? So that's what I want to talk about survivor bias. I think it's very easy to be biased towards survivors in this space, and I just want to tell you guys and share with you guys this experience and see what you guys think, because I think this is something that really affects people's mentalities investing in space. So I would love to hear what you guys think about survivor bias. Do you think you're affected by it? Do you think that are there ways of coping with it? I'd love to hear that in the comments below. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button and be part of the notification squad, guys. See you next time.